Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Stihl 026 chainsaw. Customer complaint is that he can't get it started, and if he does get it started, it just bogs. Can't use it. So we're looking in the fuel tank here. The fuel looks fine. It doesn't smell bad. We're going to take a look at the air filter. It's pretty much normal. We'll get the spark plug out of here. Taking this top cover off is going to allow access to the spark plug. At least a lot easier than trying to sneak it out without taking the cover off. Do a little bit of maintenance here, get some of the dirt out of the way. What we're looking for is clean and shiny inside the cylinder. We don't want to see any scoring. If we do, we're going to advise the customer to walk away from the repair. Spark plug looks alright. I guess the cylinder looked alright, because the spark plug's going back in. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to run this thing. Now normally I would just dive right into the fuel system, but we'll fire it up and see what it sounds like. Doing a little investigating here to see what the drive sprocket looks like. Let's put this cover back on, and even if we do dig into the carburetor, this cover is not going to be in the way if it's back on there. Alright, this unit's got the choke built into the air filter, so we had to leave it on there. We're going to give this thing a few pulls and see if it'll start. Alright, we're going to dig into the fuel system a little bit. First we're going to dump out the old fuel. And while it did look good, once it's in my funnel I can take a closer look at it and see if any water settles into the bottom of it. Alright, the air filter's off, and now we're going to remove the carburetor. I loosened the two studs, or I should say I loosened the two nuts on the carburetor and realized that my throttle linkage wasn't coming off until I accessed it through this top cover here on the handle and released the linkage right there. So now we can finish taking these nuts off. Now it seems like these Stihl carburetors, they kind of stick. So just get behind it and pry it out and break it loose. But don't get too carried away, the fuel line is still connected. You're going to have to pop that off of there. There it is. Harvested one carburetor. So let's pull the pump cover off of here. See what there is to see. There's our micro screen right there. Oh, look at that. Nastiness. That gray colored scum that's in there is most likely from water. We can blame ethanol if we want, but how the water got into the fuel at some point, who knows? Metering diaphragm, what does that look like? From here it looks really stiff. Yeah, it's been in there for a long time, maybe from the beginning, I don't know. Some of the gas gets stuck to the carb, so we'll scrape that off. And there's our old micro screen full of scum. We'll put a new one in there. So this carb's just going to get freshened up with new metering diaphragm, new pump gasket, and a new micro screen. Now, you know, if I wanted to, I could have put this thing in the ultrasonic cleaner. But it's been my experience that if you don't find actual crud inside the carb, like on the wet side of the metering diaphragm, the ultrasonic cleaner sometimes can be an extra step you don't need to take. We're just matching up gaskets and swapping them over. Oh, the circus is back in town, huh? Alright, we got our linkage on the carburetor, and we're sliding the carburetor back onto the studs. We're getting the fuel line pushed back on the carburetor. Then we'll kind of seat everything home there. Get our throttle linkage rod back in place. And you got to kind of hold the operator presence lever there in place when you're putting the handle on, because it's spring loaded. And once you think you got it all, run the screw back up in the bottom. At least this one's got a screw. Some of the lesser models just snap into place. Looks like our throttle linkage works the way it's supposed to. We're going to tighten the carburetor back down. Fill it back up with fuel. Now I don't know if the owner tried to adjust the carburetor on this when it was bogging, but it doesn't seem like the carb's adjusted where it should be right now. try that again. So, I don't normally run into this. Now, is it possible that if I did run it through the ultrasonic cleaner, that maybe I'd have a little better results right now? Maybe. Right now I'm looking to see if the impulse hose is still intact or if it's cracked or anything like that. I really shouldn't be suspecting it because it didn't take a lot of pulls to get it primed. And this thing's in such an odd spot that, you know, I gotta look in there and see what it looks like. I don't replace too many of them, but they do get old and they can crack. But I think the bottom line is here that I decide there ain't nothing wrong with that impulse hose. We just got to get some fuel running through the carburetor and actually open it up a little bit here. So you saw one little tweak on the high speed already made things a little bit better. So that's all I got for you on the 026 carb rebuild. Thanks for watching. Later.